While boss fights come in many shapes and sizes, most adhere to certain conventions. They are nightmare creatures, cackling villains, and hulking machines designed to turn you into a fine paste. Occasionally they are you, albeit going through a goth phase. Some games defy convention. Instead of reaching for the big book of boss tropes, they pick up the IKEA catalogue by mistake and throw you in the ring with household appliances and other random detritus of everyday life. Maybe they're trying to keep it fresh. Maybe the developers just got sick of animating knees. Either way, unexpected items posing as bosses are here to stay. Don't believe me? Consider these, the 7 oddest things you had a boss fight against. Beware spoilers for the following.
Eyes open, fella.
Hey, what can I do?
Oh, you're back. Oh, thank you, thank you. If I look away, I don't know what this thing will do. You have to get me out of here. The door can only be opened by the Panopticon supervisor. That's Langston, if he's still around.
Control is a highly accurate simulation of a first day at work. No sooner has Jessie Faden entered the Bureau of Control than she's ticking off classic induction activities. Pick up a door key, find her new desk, and throw that desk at monsters using brain magic. Find a new desk. As every new starter knows, it's vital to get to grips with the office facilities. Where are the toilets, the photocopier, the flying traffic lights that burn you with their searing beams? Or the plastic flamingo in that undulating tunnel. They didn't mention this on LinkedIn.
That's got to be an altered item.
So it turns out that working at the Bureau is more befuddling than trying to spell bureau. Bureau? Bureau? These baffling objects are known as altered items, everyday things that developed paranormal powers and as such are banged up in the Bureau's panopticon. Think of it as the Arkham Asylum for the criminally mundane. It's here that you find a most unconventional boss, the Arctic Queen, a 1960s refrigerator locked away like Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs, delivering an equally chilling performance. And don't roll your eyes at that pun, because that's when the fridge will get you.
What are you doing in there?
Oh, thank God. Look, someone has to watch this object at all times, or it deviates. My shift replacement never showed up. Can you help me?
So begins fridge duty, which in the outside Xtra offices means throwing out milk before it gains sentience. Here it means gaining access to this guy Philip's room before his eyes fail him and the fridge attacks. Not sure which job is worse.
The fridge is doing something!
Philip?
Okay, this is worse. Sorry, Philip. Being turned into a bloody puddle is the fastest way to fail your probation period, so Jessie keeps her eyes on the Arctic Queen as she psychically wrestles her way inside. Bad news if you hope to find chilled treats in there. Where my fridge has a healthy supply of Muller Crunch corners, in this fridge you're more likely to get mullered and then crunched in a corner. That's courtesy of the former, the paranormal host of the fridge, and Plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants cosplayer. Luckily, a few bullets to the eyes and chucking convenient projectiles back his way is all it takes to put this weird boss on ice. Or not on ice? Out of the fridge. You get it.
The fridge seems fixed.
Maybe a bit much for your first day, but hey, at least you know where to put your stinky egg sandwiches now. Results.
Their opponent, buried in the bowels of the Coliseum. An unspeakable horde, long imprisoned, set free tonight for your entertainment! The secret star of Don Corneo's stellar stable! Enter the Hell House!
Who'd buy property in Midgar? In the bleak class divide of Final Fantasy VII Remake's Mega City, you're either doomed to live in a shack held together by spit and fetch quests, or you get a pokey slice of the suburbs where the house prices are always threatening to drop. No, wait, where houses are always threatening to drop. But these cursed abodes pale in comparison to the residential evil fought in the final round of the Corneo Coliseum. It's here that Cloud and Aerith make like Russell Crowe in Gladiator, walloping dogs and robots to earn a shot at the main event. Only Maximus Decimus Meridius never had to wrestle with a small family detached home, and frankly, the film is weaker for it. Yes, this is Hell House, or as it's so ably summed up by Cloud, Master of Observation.
It's your ordinary house.
Was it the flames that gave it away? Or maybe the whole being alive? Technically, it's a promotion for the possessed property, which slummed it as a regular enemy in Sector 6 in the original Final Fantasy VII. Proving that you can gentrify anything if you put your mind to it, this fixer-upper now gets its very own boss fight. If it wasn't for the whole trying to kill you thing, Hell House would be a desirable purchase. Capable of both ice and fire magics, it's never too hot or too cold. In the case of flooding, it can grow legs and flee the danger.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening?
And there's the impervious invincibility barrier. Good luck posting a Pizza Hut flyer through that. And are the neighbours really going to complain about you putting the bins out late when it's doing this? I'll sort my recyclables when I'm good and ready, Marjorie. With the housing market being what it is, it's cruel asking first-time buyers to destroy an affordable property. It sends the wrong message to two youngsters with their whole lives ahead of them. Well, maybe not Aerith.
Cuphead has single-handedly, or should that be single-handledly, ruined countless everyday items for us by turning them into unforgiving boss encounters. Now every time I see a carrot, I have to drop-kick it the length of Tesco's. And if I ever spot a frog wearing boxing gloves, I will box it right back. So watch it, frogs. However, the weirdest encounter has to be the gravestone in the level Ruse of an Ooze.
Good game for us. Well done. You're up.
Goopy Legrand is a slime ball in every sense of the word, both an amorphous sphere of goo and a dirty rotten cheater. Get him on the ropes and he pops a pill, doubling in size. No wonder doping in sports is illegal. Those giant cyclists would be terrifying. Of course, winners don't do drugs, and soon enough Goopy is splattered by his own gravestone, which then sets out to RIP you a new one. What should be a time for sombre reflection and mild sobbing becomes a farcical battle to the death. Okay, second death, as you pour bullets into Goopy's grinning face and he attempts to turn Cuphead into a saucer. While it is the official Outside Xtra stance that grave desecration is bad, bold I know, we make an exception for splitting this chump in two. Here lies Goopy Legrand. He died as he lived, and then he lived a bit more after he died. Annoying to the end.
Sunset Overdrive doesn't take itself entirely seriously. See Exhibit A, the decision to use the game's community manager, Brandon Winfrey, as the final boss of the Dawn of the Rise of the Fallen Machines DLC. Yet another reason not to mess with community managers. But even a cackling Winfrey has nothing on the campaign's final boss, where an assault on the Fizco HQ becomes a boss fight against the Fizco HQ.
Wait, don't tell me. Giant city destroying robot?
You've fought bosses on top of massive buildings and bosses the size of massive buildings, but this is the first time you fought a massive building. Luckily, it has an exposed power core on the roof.
What? I have a power core? When did I not know this? Everybody knows the only reason you have a power core is so someone can destroy the power core!
Hey, we didn't design it. Reaching the roof is a test of your acrobatic skills as you rail grind up tentacles and bound along hover drones to reach that oh-so-convenient weak spot. It's almost like this thing wants to be exploded.
That hurts! If I ever find out who hit a power core inside my head, I swear to God I'll swear at them!
The real challenge is the cross-city sprint to reach the building as it escapes. Do that and it only takes 2 trips to the top to perform a proper demolition job. And if that seems a little too easy, take it up with the community manager. Huh, thought not.
Mario, the Origami King could have populated an entire list of strange boss fights by itself, but we tried and the spoiler warning came out looking really weird. As Mario strives to untangle Princess Peach's castle from King Ollie's streamers, he faces off against the Legion of Stationery, normally harmless arts and crafts tools rendered deadly when applied to Mario's frail papery body. Such as Jean-Pierre coloured pencils the 12th, whose wordplay is as sharp as his freshly shaved points. Arsenal, mwah! If this boss thing doesn't work out, Jean-Pierre, a role on this channel beckons. But the boss that left its mark on us is the disco dancing hole punch. To be fair, he leaves his mark on most things, that being the gimmick of this particular boss fight. He starts out nibbling on the paper arena, limiting Mario's routes and potential pickups as you plot a path towards the middle. But what follows is probably the most unpleasant bit of body horror I've ever seen, as the hole punch gouges a hole in Mario's skull. How is this game rated PEGI 7? Unless that stands for particularly extreme gouging imagery. He'll keep on taking holes out of Mario until you deliver a thwack to his backside, forcing him to puke up Mario's missing body parts. Now all Mario needs to do is collect his own face from the floor. Is this definitely a Nintendo-made thing? This is very dark. Don't worry though, as it all ends on a much sweeter note, tearing the stapler's arse off of its body. Wow, Mario. Rectum.
Well then, let's wrap up this crazy party, shall we?
Whether he's asking all three of Cerberus's heads to play dead or decking a giant ghost horse, Devil May Cry's Dante has killed more bosses than every hero on this list combined. Sorry, Paper Mario, but it's true. But his weirdest encounter appears during a trip to the Netherworld in Devil May Cry 3. The damned chessboard, as in cursed rather than I can't find my damned chessboard, is a living version of the game invented in the 6th century and then totally forgotten about until the Queen's Gambit made it cool. In traditional chess, 2 players take it in turns to frown a bit and then touch a clock and then take tranquilizers in the bathroom. Again, I'm taking most of this from the Queen's Gambit. This version features none of that stuff and also all the pieces bundle in at once. Getting surrounded? Talk about a rookie mistake. Worse still, you can only hurt pieces as they move, and each piece follows the behaviour of its real-life counterpart. Oh, and the demonic bishops can shoot fireballs. Which I don't think happens in real chess, but again, please check with the Queen's Gambit. Dante only needs to kill the king to clear the board. Manage that, and you're truly worthy of a Grandmaster status. Like to see you try that, Beth?
You fools, human, yet wishing to eradicate the desires of humanity.
Who's that?
Repent!
Persona 5 is the story of impossibly well-dressed students attempting to cleanse a shadow realm of psychological perversions and build up the courage to eat a very big burger. But as rancid as they are, pickles are not the big bads of Persona 5. That honour goes to a series of emotional constructs that represents the wildest fantasies of their human hosts. I guess this dude's wildest fantasy is to be made out of giant paintings? And this fellow wishes he was a fly? Turns out all these wrong-uns are the result of an even bigger bad, and it's a cup? But not just any cup, perhaps the most famous cup of all.
I am revered as the granter of dreams for all who behold me. A being most commonly known as the Holy Grail.
Forget what Indiana Jones taught you, the Holy Grail isn't a manky old beaker, but a 50-foot tall chalice covered in cogs. How Jesus drank from this without getting his beard tangled, we'll never know. Even worse, it talks like an internet edgelord.
These feeble-minded common folk will make your social reform all for naught. The shared heart of the masses has fallen into an excess of indolence and transformed into a prison.
The Grail feeds on the wishes of humans wooed by its promise of a chaos-free life, healing it in battle and letting it enjoy a real glow-up. How do you beat a giant wish-filled cup? It helps if you see the cup's health bar as half empty instead of half full. But more practically, sneak up and sever its ties with its human thralls. Without its gallons of delicious wishes, it's as harmless as any old regular 50-foot tall golden chalice. Which it turns out is still pretty dangerous. Still nothing 3 plucky teens and a cat can't handle, now to fight the real boss. 3 feet of meat and heartburn for weeks. Yum.
So those were the 7 weirdest things you had a boss fight against. Please do not attack fridges and hole punches in real life. If you can think of any other bizarre objects repurposed as boss fights, please do drop them in the comments below. And if you like this, then why not check out all of our other videos, including some fabulous tabletop Blades in the Dark adventures. In the meantime, take care of yourself, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye!